Dragon Ball Super Chapter 98 is here, and man, it has been about 2 months since the last time I covered the manga. As for why I haven't covered it, well, let's just say that I've been preoccupied with other things.
I am a sworn paladin of Tyr, betrothed to Karlach, fury of Avernus, and together we will fight back the illithid menace and dismantle the cult of the Absolute. Spider-Man!
As you can see, I had a very reasonable reason for why I stepped away for as long as I did. That and the fact that the manga was moving at a snail's pace also contributed to my hiatus. Anyways, in the past 2 months, the Dragon Ball Super manga managed to cover about 8 minutes of the film, putting us around the hour and 15-minute mark. However, the way the events played out in these 2 chapters compared to the movie was a bit different. From what I can tell, it was mainly in chapter 97 where Saiyan X1 and X2 joined the fight against Cell Max and gave us some goofy scenes like this, but besides that there wasn't really any other changes, I think. Moving on, as for this chapter, it covers about 7 minutes, putting us at the hour and 22-minute mark, meaning that we only have about 12 minutes left to adapt, and if I were to guess how many chapters we'll see, it'll probably be about 3 or 4 more until the end of this arc. Anyway, since this chapter is a rehash just like the rest of this damn arc, I'll just be going over the differences compared to the movie, and I'll be skimming over the rest so that you guys can at least know what was covered in this chapter. Alright, opening up on the first 4 pages, we get to see the failed fusion between Goten and Trunks try his best to take on Cell Max. But just like in the movie, he doesn't gain any ground against the android. Within these 4 pages, the only thing that's different compared to his movie counterpart is that 18 is the one who spikes Goten straight into Cell Max's head. But besides that, there aren't any substantial changes. Moving on, the next 14 pages shows our heroes planning their next move to take down Cell Max. That plan being distracting the android long enough to allow Gamma 2 to land a devastating blow against his weak spots. And well, we all know how that ended. Unfortunately for Gamma 2, he was only able to tear off Cell Max's arm, which in the grand scheme of things is still pretty good, and I for one believe that it did contribute to our hero's victory in the long run. I mean, if Cell Max had an extra hand here during this part of the movie, I doubt Piccolo would have been able to hold him back long enough for Gohan to do his thing. Rest in peace Gamma 2, you will be missed. Anyway, since there weren't any changes here from what I could see, I guess it's time to move on. The next 7 pages shows us Giant Orange Piccolo versus Cell Max, and if I'm being honest, I've always been a fan of this fight. It's like watching a kaiju battle within Dragon Ball. Now the fight here is a bit different, and I must say that I do enjoy this version of the events better due to how Piccolo uses a mouth blast, which we rarely see in the series nowadays. Moving on, the next 6 pages sees Cell thwarting our hero's plans by knocking the Senzu Bean right out of Piccolo's hands and absolutely demolishing the Z-Fighters. Now in the movie, Cell Max doesn't do this. Instead, Gohan just eats the bean without any interference. Truth being told, with this single act, I can 100% say that this Cell Max is far smarter than the one in the movie because that move right there was a strategical one. But I guess it doesn't really amount to much as Gohan finds it and eats it anyways. But before he does, within the next 4 pages, we get to see this scene right here, where it shows Pan finally being able to fly, and it's different than in the movie, and I think I prefer this version over the other one. Anyways, thanks to her, Gohan is able to eat the Senzu Bean and rejoin the rest of the Z-Fighters. Within the last 10 pages, we get to see a brawl between the giants, Cell Max versus Orange Piccolo, and although this fight is short-lived, seeing them go toe-to-toe is still a great sight. Unfortunately for Piccolo though, he is on the losing end, but before Cell Max could land a finishing blow, Gohan comes in landing a massive uppercut and a devastating combo that sends the android flying. However, just like in the movie, it doesn't keep Cell Max down for long, and we see him rise from the abyss to face off against our heroes once again. And with that, this marks the end of this chapter, as well as the end of this video. I don't know exactly where Dragon Ball is heading in the future, as the manga has been extremely slow for the past couple of months, and we know for a fact that Dragon Ball Super is not coming back, which I'm still sad about that, but hey, what can you do? As for how I feel about everything, I am just waiting to see what's going to happen as I've been doing before, and I'm not really mad at Dragon Ball Daima, as I'm just going to wait and see if the series is good or not. As for the manga, it's the only thing that at this point I guess that I'm interested in, due to the fact that it's finally coming to a close with the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, meaning that we could potentially finally get a new arc. Anyways, thank you to everyone that watched this video. I hope you have a great day. Peace, deuce, deuce.